I don't know that I have a specific favorite memory of Luka Modric, but I just really appreciate the fact that he shifted the spotlight from goals to the guys that make things tick before the goal scorer score the goal. And I just appreciate the fact that the guy, even to this day, I mean, the reports were that he didn't want to leave. Real Madrid just decided that, you know what, it's time to move on. You're 39. Like Tosin said, go home and be a family man. And he had to accept it. And they showed Florentino in the stands crying during the ceremony at the end of the game. So he's definitely, I mean, he's kind of been easing his way out of the game. Carter kind of used him off the bench a lot this season, so we've kind of gotten used a little bit to him not being there anymore. But it's going to be weird starting next season without him playing for Real Madrid. But we're lucky enough to have the Club World Cup, so we get to watch that. For those of you who are gonna watch it, because I don't know if you guys are watching that shit. I don't know. I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shirtless Plantain Show. This is the weekend review. I'm your host, Tosin, alongside my co-host, as always, Coach and Dean. Fellas, as always, how are you guys doing today?
Man, these 9 months or 9.5 months have flown, boy.
Yeah,
I
that's what a
love
lot of pregnant women say too.
another season in the books. Yeah, man, we're here.
Indeed, we're here. Indeed, ready to wrap this shit up and get ready for the next one. I'm ready, man. I'm ready. Like I don't need a break. I'm ready to go again. Let's do this shit, man.
Oh man, it's great that you guys said that because we're gonna start off with congratulating Arsenal women. They won the Champions League final against Barcelona. Arsenal, the only women's team in England to ever win a Champions League. So congratulations to them for winning another title, Champions League title. 74th minute from Stina Black. How do you even say her last name?
Blackstenius.
Blackstenius. There we go. So yeah, Arsenal the underdogs, and they managed to win. So I know you guys mentioned it on your Arsenal edition, which is out as soon as you hear this or something like that. But how do you feel about that? Arsenal winning and good times to be an Arsenal fan, men and women. How do you feel about your team winning Champions League?
It's just good for the club, man. Seriously, it's good for the club. I think it's probably even better for the women's game in general, the way that it happened. I think what Barcelona were the reigning champs as well. It's just good to get another name onto the podium again. The amount of eyes that were on the game, the amount of people that showed genuine interest, that will be showing genuine interest after the fact as well, um, and just the stories that come with it. I mean, some of these Arsenal players, like Leah Williamson, being there as a mascot for the 2007 final, and then literally captaining the team in 2025. Like Russo coming back to the club as well, as she's an Arsenal fan, and so like just there's too many, man. So yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's all I got. It's awesome. It was dope. Like I really loved. I mean, we considered it a shit song on this podcast, but when they did North London Forever after winning it with them facing the crowd, I might have shed a single thug tear. So congratulations to the Arsenal women, and I hope the man can replicate this for me in the very near future.
I also just want to say it's a great advertising for women's sport, not just women's football, but women's sport in general. Like you're starting to see how much women's sport has just grown from the WNBA to this. It's beautiful to see. So that's my 2 cents that I just had to add to that. We did have another final, the Pokal Final. Stuttgart beat Arminia Bielefeld 4-2. So congratulations to Stuttgart. It's really nice to see this season. A lot of teams have just been breaking their trophy ducks. So it's really, really nice to see. So shout out to Stuttgart for doing that. And just have to shout out to Angelo Stiller as well, just because every time we mention Stuttgart, I just want to talk about Angelo Stiller. So there we go.
Yeah, I was hearing about him getting linked to Madrid. As good as he is, I don't think he's ready yet. But I mean, as far as those options go on the market, if Cruz likes him, yeah. I hear he recommended him. I'm not just mentioning it. I hear Cruz recommended him to the club. So if he thinks he's a good player, then why not?
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, man. He's always gonna obviously back his country, man. So
What do you mean by that?
I'd rather not explain. To be honest, I'd actually rather not explain.
One of Coach's favorite players in recent memory, Dennis Undav, scored in this game, by the way.
What's your beef with Dennis Undav, man?
He chose the perfect time to give De Zerbi his one win over Arteta and Arsenal and let him knee slide at the Emirates. So yeah, it's beef for life, man.
All I can say is this to anybody listening: please don't ever get on coach's wrong side because he'll have beef for you to the day that your kids.
It depends on what he saw at the cinema recently. Don't worry about it. It's like the Teletubbies movie. You'd be all right. If it's anything else, you're fucked.
In France, the France final, PSG beat Reims 3-0. I think this game was over before it even started. Barcola got 2, and yeah, that was just really it, honestly. Kimi got another goal as well. This was good for Strasbourg because now they're in Conference League, and Chelsea can move some stuff around, and now Strasbourg can be in Conference League final, and Chelsea can kind of give them more players to loan. So they won, I guess. Shout out to Blue Co.
Yeah, like I was watching a different podcast recently. They were talking about how Ligue 1 has fixed so many of their problems that that once they find a good TV deal, all of a sudden they might be able to hop ahead of when it just comes to league quality, they might be able to hop ahead of some of these other leagues that are behind the Premiership, because or the Premier League, it's not the Premiership anymore. They take that real personal. But I don't know. I'm kind of excited for their future, if that makes any sense. Like the minute PSG started spending money within the league instead of buying players from outside the league for big money, so the money could trickle down, it kind of felt like, okay, this is going to be good for everybody, not just PSG. But I didn't think that would be enough to actually make the league super competitive, and it really hasn't. But I'm hopeful. That's all I can say. I'm just hopeful that in the near future we'll see a winner of some competition that's not PSG pretty soon, because there's more money in the league in general. So I'm hopeful.
And trickle down apparently works. Not in America, but apparently works. So,
Yeah, somewhere.
yeah. Let's go over to Serie A. Napoli have won another title. Scott McTominay, Scotty Tuhati is the MVP. He had a really good goal in this game. Lukaku got another goal. Kavica has 2 league titles. He has a League On and a Serie A title.
I promise you guys that he's not getting that Serie A medal unless he pays for it. Like De Laurentiis will literally make him pay for that medal. I promise you. That story is coming out within 3-4 days. Just watch.
Yeah, he's gonna make him have to like go run the gauntlet like a James Bond film or something like that.
And do you know what else he's gonna make him do after that? It's gonna make him Dabale.
Yeah, he's gonna have to like go through like a shark tank where the sharks have got lasers on their head, and then a bunch of killer robots, and then like it's just gonna be it's not gonna be worth the hassle. He can have that.
Just be like, fuck your medal, like fuck it. Like I'm on the Wikipedia page. That's enough for me.
Yeah.
Remember the movie First Blood? That's what it's gonna be. Just that. She's gonna have to recreate First Blood by himself. Good luck.
Oh man, like I don't think have they even done the parade yet in Naples? I don't think so.
No,
But
not yet. They might as well have, because the city went up on Friday. It went up.
some of those visuals were stupid. They were real nice, but I say that to say, how come we're already hearing about Conte leaving?
well,
you want the flow, coach, or do I want the flow?
let me just say this. If there's a human being that could start a fight in a phone box, it's Antonio Conte.
Hold on, coach. Sorry to mess up your flow. Kids, a phone box was a device from our childhood where you would have to walk in and open it up. It was in public, and there'd be a phone inside, and there'd be a phone book sometimes too. If you lived in a good neighborhood, then you could make calls from that shit. But now you got a cell phone. Sorry, coach. Carry on.
Yeah, and it was literally only big enough to hold, one person. You know what I mean? One person and a small child. At the best of times.
Like
But
Colin Farrell size, if you will.
yeah, basically. But if you know Antonio Conte, it was always on a bingo card. He could have left 2 days after he took over Napoli, to be honest, if we're being frank. Like, with Antonio Conte, you're never, like, the chance of him leaving can be quite slim, but it's never zero. Like, at any given moment, he could be like, fuck this, I'm out of here. He can find any reason to leave.
Oh, no reason at all.
Oh, no reason. He doesn't need one. He'll just say, I'll leave right now. I don't care. And he's gone. Do you know what I mean?
I think you're lucky as a club if he doesn't call you shit on the way out.
Basically, yeah.
He is truly like the absentee father of football.
But he's a fucking winner, and
there's nothing you can do about that, because that's what he is.
That's why people put up with him.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
first coach in Serie A history to win 3 titles with 3 different teams.
That's insane, bro.
Not even Ancelotti did that shit, man. That's impressive, man. Even if
Carlo
you know
doesn't
some,
win leagues. He's the inverse of each other. Carlo wins European titles.
So
yeah,
Conte doesn't
yeah.
win shit in Europe.
Has Conte even managed a knockout tie before? No disrespect, I
I
don't
think
think
a
he has.
quarter final at Juventus in the first. I think that's it.
That might be it, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fucking hell. That's
And that was a good team too with Pogba and
Vidal.
Marquinhos and Vidal and all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, my respect for Conte is always gonna remain there because he knows what he is and he never ever shies away from that kind of thing. The one thing I will say that's been quite different is the guy played a 4-3-3. He played four at the back this season. Like, you know, maybe you can teach an old dog new tricks in regards to his tactical plan, but him as a person, like everybody knows exactly what he is, and he won't lie to you. He won't try to say, oh, you know, he's just himself, and I think you have to respect that, honestly, and that's why it's such an easy decision for clubs to make to make decisions on him. They don't have to go back and forth with interviews because he who he is who he is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
And
I love that about him.
yeah, I want to make one more point about him. And something that I love about him is the fact that we kind of view him in the same light as we view, like, say, peak era Mourinho in the style of football. Like, doesn't really want the ball, but can be dangerous with it. And he has remained in the game across quite a while now. Like, Antonio Conte has been winning things for a long time now. I can't remember how long he's been coaching, but it's been a while that he's been doing this. And he's done it across different countries. He's done it across different clubs within the same country. And he's still viewed as an elite coach, even if he's not the very top of the elite. They're still hiring him in Serie A. On the other hand, the person I compared him to, Mourinho, is now coaching in Turkey. And honestly, if
He's a bitch.
Fenerbahce thought they could do better, they would have sacked him by now too. You know, so it just goes to show the levels, if that makes any sense. Like, certain coach, it's not really about the tactics; it's about how you deal with people. Like, if people can tolerate you enough, they'll deal with you. If they can't, you end up in Turkey.
Yeah, Conte's been coaching since 2006, by the way.
Yeah,
Almost 20 years.
yeah,
Almost 20 years, and it's been mostly success.
yeah. And I will say as well, he's that I don't recall him ever really managing more than 3 seasons at one club, kind of thing. Which is that's how some managers are like that. That's in fact that's most managers, I'd say, to be honest. But it's with him, it always just seems eventful.
Yeah.
Like, there's never a dull moment when Antonio Conte is managing your club. Genuinely, like, you can point to so many different, you know, um, instances of him managing any club he's been at, and it's just been something happening that's dominated the headlines for like a week or two. Do you know what I mean?
I think more so than the only coach that understood this better than him, again, is Mourinho. But this shit is entertainment. He does some of this shit on purpose. There's no way a man of his age is still this dramatic. Like, bro, calm down. He said no, because he knows what sells. He knows why we keep coming back to watch his teams, even though we know he's a terrorist. Because he's going to drama on top.
Exactly. He knows what's gonna get him a job as well. Like,
Yeah.
I think genuinely, if you look at everyone that he's managed, right? Like, let's just say since Juve, he's had Italy, Chelsea, Inter. Spurs are genuinely the only weird one, if we're being honest, and in Napoli. Like, there's just an anomaly there. But that, for me, I reckon he did that for the law. I reckon he just did that for the plot, where he's just like, do you know what? When they look back and they're gonna say, at least he did try to get them winning. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I feel like he really thought he could do something there. Like, he genuinely thought that, because it's like, why would you hire Antonio Conte if you're not gonna back him and get the one good season you're gonna get out of him before he calls you a bitch and leaves? Yeah. So he thought Daniel Levy had sense. He didn't know that Daniel Levy is even crazier than he is. So, anywho, credit to him. Credit to him.
My favorite Conte stories I've heard is from like the Italians in America, who said that during preseason in America, when they was at Juventus, that I forgot who the big striker was. That they were doing sprints in Philly, and it was hot, like a real American summer, like July type heat, right? And one of the players was like yelling at Conte back and forth. And Conte basically said, "I will kill you. You better keep running because I will kill you." And he kept running. There's nothing he could do. And apparently that was the fittest they were all season. Like, they were the fittest team in Serie A that season. So Conte knows what he wants from his teams, and he gets it done.
Yeah, you don't play for Conte if, like, Conte's first requirement is that I need you to basically carry out these instructions and these instructions are going to require you to run a lot. Basically, you have to be like at the top of your game physically. Like under other coaches, like the emphasis won't be as much, but that's his first requirement before he even looks in your direction. Before he even thinks about calling you a bitch, he needs to find out if you're a fit bitch at least. Basically,
To wrap this all up, I'm gonna make us all feel old. Do you know who signed Conte first as a player?
Ancelotti.
No, at Juventus. It was Frappatoni.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay, no.
He's dead now, isn't he?
I don't think so.
Wow.
Well,
No, he's still alive. Yeah.
damn. Oh, well, I should fix that, shouldn't I? Anyway,
Let's move on to the rest of Serie A. Como wore their brand new fourth kits, which was styled by Rude. They had these yellow thing. I don't know, man. They some fancy shit. It was $300 for kits. I looked at it, I was like, okay. Anyways, they wore those kits and they lost 2-0. So that's what they get.
yeah.
And Pepe got a red card.
De Verena?
Yes. On his last professional game, he got a red card.
I won't lie to you. That really makes me happy. Like that's the lasting memory of that fuck.
And
It
it
makes me so happy.
same thing as Emi Martinez. We'll get to that later, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Venezia lost to Juventus 3-2. Venezia got sponsored by Drake and got relegated. Juventus snuck into fourth ahead of Roma, and Venezia relegated. So I won't be shocked if Conte goes back to Juventus.
Yeah. Just on the final, so I'll read out the standings in Italy, but obviously Napoli won it by a point, 82 points. Inter 81, Atalanta 74, Juve 70, Roma 5th in the conference place 69,
Nice.
and Fiorentina, I wouldn't say snuck in because I think Moise Keane, he definitely did his job there. They're in the Conference League, I believe. This has been a very, very interesting Serie A season, purely from quite similar to the Premier League, purely from the teams that are not winning the league point of view. Like they've all had their shit, they've all had their good runs, they've all had their, you know what I mean, like will they or won't they moments kind of thing. And the final sort of standings here, I'm looking at it, it just makes me laugh because Milan were never ever close, if we're being honest, were they? Like
At no point in the season were they involved in a title race. It was always top four for them for brief periods, but even that kind of petered out fairly quickly. I mean, they did well in the cups,
yeah,
but in the league they were awful.
yeah, it was bad. It was so bad. And it's like you got teams that finished above them: Lazio, Fiorentina, Roma. Beginning of the season, would you said any of these teams were better than Milan? Like really,
No.
I wouldn't have said so. Do you know what I mean? It's just, yeah,
Thanks
yeah,
for the
very, very disappointing from them.
only thing I want to add to this week is that Daniel Maldini got a brace like a minute apart. But Atlanta still lost. But there's that. So we can leave Italy and go to Spain. Thank you for the status, coach. La Liga. Mbappe got a brace in Real Madrid's 2-0 win over Real Sociedad. He won the European Golden Boot. So good for him. 30 goals in the league. It's weird. It's like we forget that Mbappe is just a serial goal scorer, but then it doesn't feel like it. Does that make sense?
Yes, when your team isn't winning, nobody gives a fuck what you're doing. The end.
Carlo left, so cheers to Carlo.
I don't know if I agree about that, but we'll get to
that. Carlo left, so cheers to him. He's in Brazil right now. He's probably on the beach in Rio dancing as we speak. Xabi Alonso got confirmed. They're bringing in Alvaro from Benfica, Man United academy player. They also let Lucas Vasquez left. I don't know why Jesus Navas and Lucas Vasquez remind me of each other. I don't know why. Maybe they're just both short in Spanish. One has green eyes, one doesn't. But yeah, Luka Modric also left as well. They gave him a big tribute. One of the players' kids was crying because Luka was leaving. I was just like, man, shut up, nigga. Stop crying. Out of here. You've seen enough of him anyway. He's almost 40. He needs to go retire. Go like, why you still want to play football? You hate your family that much? Whatever. Bilbao lost to
That's not how we send off Luka Modric on this podcast, okay?
Nope.
I know you don't enjoy the sport anymore because your team sucks.
No, I love
this. This is Luka Modric we're talking about.
Wait. I got an addendum for that. Remember that, and I'll tell you when we talk about Chelsea. But go ahead, talk about Luka Modric.
All right. This is arguably the best midfielder of all time.
One
You
could
think-
say.
He did win the
I'm
Ballon
not
d'Or in the era of Messi and Ronaldo
Yeah.
as a midfielder.
I'm not
So-
disagreeing with that.
Like, so it's I mean, I don't know that I have a specific favorite memory of Luka Modric, but I just really appreciate the fact that he shifted the spotlight from goals to the guys that make things tick before the goal scorer score the goal. And I just appreciate the fact that the guy, even to this day, I mean, the reports were that he didn't want to leave. Real Madrid just decided that, you know what, it's time to move on. You're 39. Like Tosin said, go home and be a family man. And he had to accept it. And they showed Florentino in the stands crying during the ceremony at the end of the game. So he's definitely, I mean, he's kind of been easing his way out of the game. Carter kind of used him off the bench a lot this season. So we've kind of gotten used a little bit to him not being there anymore. But it's going to be weird starting next season without him playing for Real Madrid, But we're lucky enough to have the Club World Cup, so we get to watch that. For those of you who are gonna watch it, because I don't know if you guys are watching that shit. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, Luka Modric, man, I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna miss those Trivela passes. I'm gonna miss him being the one midfielder that could do everything in midfield, even though he was the size of a shrimp, but his calves were bigger than Jack Grealish's. No one talks about that because he's not a model. But yeah, it's been a pleasure to watch him. Even when he played for Spurs, he was fantastic to watch.
Question for you: is he the best player to ever do Trivela?
What, to make as part of their like actual game?
Out of their weaponry, yeah.
It can't be. I feel like by default it has to be a Brazilian of some sort.
I feel like it has to be charisma, to be honest.
But he's not the best player though. He's just the best at Trivelas.
That's what I was asking. That's what I was asking.
Okay, then it's Quaresma then.
Yeah.
Cool.
Correct.
Got an answer. So Luka Modric, from us, thank you so much for just being great. He also co-owns Swansea. Buying a house out in Wales as well. So
Oh, he really hates his family because who the fuck wants to live in Wales, bro?
So he had that one court case in Croatia a couple years ago. Maybe he's still beefing his house, so he shows up for national team games, but otherwise they don't like him.
Bilbao, they lost 3-0 to Barcelona, brace from Lewandowski and a penalty from Dani Olmo. Yeah, Bilbao was disappointing this season. I think that's what we can say safely, right? They were kind of disappointed.
What, disappointing?
Were they?
What were you expecting from them?
To beat United and end the suffering, but
Well, it didn't really matter in the end, did it? Now.
I mean, they still got Champions League.
They got Champions League. Like what are we talking about?
The trophy. That's a trophy according to some people. So
it's a bag. That's indisputable. So it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I think for a club like Bilbao, the Champions League is a huge achievement for them.
put it like this year. They did not win the league because the clubs ahead of them have all won LaLiga in the last decade. That's it.
They didn't win the league because they weren't supposed to win the league. They were never going to win the league. And their goal this season was to get into the Europa League final at San Mamés.
Yeah.
United ruined that for them. That was a weird tie. I didn't expect it to go the way it went. United killed them. However, they still made it to the Champions League. So as bad as the season was, it was quite good for them. I'm pleased for them. Very happy for them. But 3-0 at home on the last day of the season is nasty work.
I mean, put it like this: they're not a team that you can say, oh my gosh, they're like a super duper bright attacking team kind of thing. But they get their goals. Do you know what I mean? They get their goals. But the team behind them, however, Villarreal, they finished on the same points as them. They're a team that I feel like they're probably deserving a bit more of just shine and grace to end the season because, they've really, really, really blown the socks off a lot of teams this season and fought their way into the Champions League spaces. It's good. It's good to have Villarreal, I think, back in the Champions League.
I got one thing about Villarreal. I'm glad you brought that up. Apparently, Tiana Trump has been very domesticated. She's cooking and cleaning in the house with Nicolas Pepe.
Oh my god, yeah. I'm talking about football, my bro. I'm talking about football.
I'll say this much about Villarreal. Like, I like them. They're probably, I don't know. I think maybe, sometimes you catch momentum as a team. What I'm trying to say is that I'm not sure that the Champions League is going to go well for them. I just don't see what they can do as far as overhauling the squad or adding to the squad to be competitive in that competition. Because you're saying it's nice to have them back, but they might just show up and get slapped a bunch. I feel like, I mean, who's their best player? Jose Perez, probably. Got 21 goals this season, which ain't nothing to sniff at. Or am I making that up? Was it 18 goals maybe? But I do worry that it's going to be it's going to be like Girona. Girona probably should have. Like, we forget that Girona started this season in the Champions League. Their league season was so shit, and their Champions League season was so bad that their fans might almost think, we kind of liked it the old way, But at least they didn't get relegated, so there's that.
Wait, they were in Champions League, right?
Yeah, at the beginning of the year,
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like Villarreal might be the same kind of thing.
I don't know.
Brest.
I don't know if they get that bad, but yeah, I mean, the Champions League is definitely going to affect their league form next season for sure. But you actually never know. You genuinely, I didn't back Villarreal to make Champions League this season. You know what I mean? So you actually never know.
You never know.
You know, it's one thing we do know though. Iago Aspas did it, and that means that his team Celta Vigo are going to Europa League. So shout out to Iago Aspas. Getafe lost 2-1. They hosted Celta Vigo, and he scored. So shout out to our guy. I don't know how he keeps doing it, but he's doing it. So they're going to Europe. So good for Iago Aspas.
Off the bench these days, he's getting old.
Yeah.
The time comes for us all.
Oh, doesn't it just? Españolas, Las Palmas, Juan Garcia. Everyone wants him. Everyone wants him. So, where is he gonna go next year? You guys think he's going to Arsenal?
Not anymore.
Yeah, I don't think
Not
so.
anymore. Like, he's
mean-
very clearly not a backup goalkeeper, so he's not coming to Arsenal.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, and it brought me off just purely off the fact that I know that we've promoted Tommy Setford now as well. Like, yeah, I don't know if we're gonna spend 30 million on him to be a backup goalkeeper.
I do have the sense, having watched a little bit of Espanyol this season, seen some of the saves, watched some comps because we were linked to him last summer. I do get the sense that we might have missed a trick here, because as good as David Raya is, he's still the same height as me. Listen, man, I love Iker Casillas, but give me Courtois any day, and Joan Garcia is a big dude, so and he moves like a small dude. But yeah, he's going to have a great career ahead. There were rumors that Barcelona are looking into him, and he posted something on Instagram kissing the Espanyol badge because they're Catalan rivals.
Yeah.
And they literally did the whole Superman in whichever movie where all the masses are around him. They lifted Joan Garcia.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
If he goes to Barcelona, they will burn his parents' home. So he'd better just go abroad, or go to. Well, he's not going to Real Madrid, but abroad will work well for him.
Yeah, Villarreal beat Sevilla 4-2. Alex Baena again. He's great what he does. So shout out to Baena.
Honestly, the best non-top 3 or 3 team midfielder, the best midfielder in Spain this season that didn't play for Real Madrid or Barcelona is Alex Baena. Fantastic player. Atleti wants him.
Yeah, I saw that as well. They're willing to pay about what 50, 60 for him, which is what it is. I like my midfielders to be a bit more, strong man.
Hey man, if you got the passing chops, you get a statue outside the stadium someday if you're that good. I think he's on that track. He's one of those super creative types. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan.
Yeah. Sevilla finished 17th, and coach is going to give us the rest of the standings in La Liga.
Yeah, so Barcelona obviously won it on 88. Real Madrid on 84 in second place. Atletico Madrid on 76 in third. Bilbao and Villarreal both on 70 points. Round out the Champions League teams. Betis will be playing Europa League football regardless of if they win or not on Wednesday. Come on, Betis. On 60 points. Celta Vigo also will be playing Europa League football as well in 6th place. And Rayo Vallecano, huge for them. They'll be in a Conference League. They made it on 52 points. But they've got the exact same goal difference as Osasuna.
Might be head to head then, huh?
Yeah, it was definitely head to head.
But that's just as much as a surprise to me as Villarreal making the Champions League. Like, I did not expect Rayo Vallecano to make the European places.
By the way, Ronaldo sold Valladolid, his club, to a bunch of Americans.
Good for them, because as much as he's the GOAT striker I've seen in my life, he was a terrible owner. He was an absentee owner. Like, he made Big Jim look like a good owner. That's crazy, man.
Let's go to Premier League. Bournemouth beat Leicester 2-0. Semenyo got a brace. Not massive mean anything for either one of these teams, but Semenyo is a good player. Good player.
Yeah. I don't know.
You good?
Well, Bournemouth didn't make Europe, so I guess it makes sense for them to sort of reboot, I guess, and sell a bunch of these talents. Whoever wants to buy, I think they'll be willing to do this this summer. And I think what's his face, Iraola should stay there.
Yeah. Fulham lost to Man City 2-0. City are going to Champions League. KDB got his send-off. Gundogan got a goal, and Haaland got a penalty, and that's all she wrote.
That
By the way,
that
Alex
Gundogan goal was something to talk about. We're not 115 FC fans on this pod, but go see that. It's a nice finish.
Alex Iwobi has also finished another season where he played every single Premier League match.
Wow.
So
That's
I think he's so underrated, yeah, that it just makes it. I don't want to see him at a rival, but I need to see him play in European football regularly because he belongs there, man.
Question: How many seasons in a row has he done that? It's just like
last year, this year.
Okay,
it's decent. Yeah. So shout out to Alex. And there's maybe two other Nigerians that have done that in the past, Ndidi and Yobo.
Okay.
Don't know why I know this, but I just know this.
Somebody follows the Super Eagles Twitter account.
Yeah. Ipswich lost to West Ham 3-1. Bowen was a star in this one, but Ipswich have been relegated since they got promoted. So
yeah, I'm just glad for West Ham. Like the vibes have been shitty all year, so closing it out with a win, not a bad thing.
It's a shame what happened to Evan Ferguson. We thought he was going to be next up, but
he's got time. He's young.
Fair enough. Liverpool won. Crystal Palace won. This game was drunk because they did a double guard of honor.
Yeah, man. So have we now replaced Istanbul with Scissor Sisters? Like, what's going on, man? Like, I just play football all day. Enough of this rubbish.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I think they showed a lot more respect to Palace than they did to Trent. So that's just very weird and strange to me.
Why you talking about old shit, bro? Why you talking about old shit?
No, I'm just saying that. We're not going to talk about the game. Woohoo! They drew 1-1. Salah didn't get the assist record.
Yeah, but he did equal the total goals and assists.
Yeah. That's good for him. No assist record for him. But yeah, I'm sorry, it just doesn't sit right with me, man. Like
what?
The whole Trent situation, like
they were nice to him today.
Yeah, because
after Klopp told them that they're pieces of shit. That's why.
Whatever it took, as long as they did the right thing in the end.
Like I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's just bad. And I've got no problems with Arne Slot at all. Like zero problems with him at all. To be honest, I don't really think.
Even after he threw Trent under the bus.
Well, this is what I'm gonna say. Like, I don't have any problems with him outside of his treatment of Trent. Basically, like I think it was very, very bad, and he allowed it to continue. And in fact, he fostered the environment, and then he allowed it to continue as well. And I just think that's not how you treat. Like, why would you say after the fact? He's now basically you've brought him on to be booed against Arsenal. Now you've done another interview saying that you haven't been happy with him at points this season. It started from pre-season where he showed that he wasn't training as well. Why would you add those comments to the fire afterwards? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's just very bad. That's very bad. Go on.
I agree with you, and I hate it, but I also think there's a part of sort of playing to the gallery to it. Like he lives in Liverpool. He just coached your team to a title. He might have a better understanding of what the local sentiment is than we do. So maybe that wasn't for the general public. It was for a certain section of Liverpool fans that he feels like he needs to talk to. I fucking hated it, but surely, he showed us throughout the season that he's an intelligent guy. He knows better than to do what he did. So I think there's a reason for it, But it'll be forgotten. It'll be forgotten.
It'll be forgotten, but it's I say we've forgotten. It won't be by me, unfortunately. I just think it's very scapegoaty, and it's almost like look, guys, it was, I won the league title, you know what I mean? Like I did my part, like you don't need to do that. Like Trent will be a bigger legend than Slot ever will be at Liverpool, as far as I'm concerned. Like that's just the bottom line. He just didn't need to do that at all.
Hey, he's Dutch, man.
That is true. Yeah.
He's Dutch. Get over it.
Guess what, Coach?
Go on.
You'll never walk alone, lad, as they will say up there. Nasty. United beat Aston Villa 2-0. Whatever. There's controversy with in the second half. Bayindir definitely did not have control of the ball. Morgan Rogers' goal should have stand, but who cares? Aston Villa don't get Champions League. Emi Martinez got a red card on apparently his last day for Aston Villa, which was great. I laughed because Rasmus Højlund was not scoring. You didn't have to do that. You could literally just put pressure on him and it would have crumbled. Like, you didn't have to do that. But Emi Martinez thought he was playing a different football and tackled the shit out of him. So there's that.
Yeah, so here's my thing with all of that. Yeah, I'm not Unai Emery's biggest fan, and I said to you guys in the group chat, this is typical of him. Prior to the red cards, they were playing like shit. United were all over them, like
Facts.
and that shouldn't discount. That shouldn't discount. A team having to be refereed properly, regardless. Villa deserve nothing from this game, regardless of just purely of how they turned up on the day. They didn't get off the coach, right? But refereeing decisions like that just compound what, to my mind, and because I'm an Arsenal fan, I'm going to be as biased as possible. To my mind, that a problem that's affected every single team in the Premier League. But I feel as if we've got a very, very harsh. We've been on the harsher end of it.
Well, not since Liverpool won the title. It's
Well,
fine now.
Well, you get what I mean, but that's just my feeling of it.
Why are you still complaining? It's fine now, coach. Come on.
No, but I'm talking about Villa here. I'm talking about Villa here. So when stuff like that happens, I'm hoping, like, especially knowing who supports Villa, aka the future king of England, I'm hoping you see shits like that. I'm thinking, hold on a second, something has to be done about this, because you literally cost them what, 100 million, 120 million pounds. That's literally what that decision has done. That shouldn't take away from the fact that Unai Emery is known for just fucking up in these situations, kind of thing. But to me, that's not really that. Like the record to me, not the record. Sorry, the goal being disallowed to me isn't really a huge story, because we've seen it throughout the whole season. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
We've seen it for the whole season. Emery, for me, like going into the last day of the season, needing a win kind of thing, and your team comes out like that. You need a point. Your team coming out like that. I'm sorry, yeah. Like that's just not good enough.
I'll say this much about Emery: he's a good coach in his context, but the one thing he definitely isn't is a league manager. He comes even in seasons where he's won in continental trophies back in Spain. He still had bad league seasons. Like usually the best position he would finish in would be 7th, some shit like that most years. So this is pretty typical of him. Like Villa shouldn't be surprised now. In this particular instance, a referee kind of helped them along. You know what's interesting? And I hear that they're going to complain about the ref after the game, but it's pointless now. Like there's nothing that can happen. But when I was looking through the schedule and I just looked at the United Aston Villa game, I clicked through on the Prem app to see just lineups. Then I saw the ref and I was like, I don't know this name. Is this like a young dude? Is this a new dude? Or then I put it out of my mind. Then he makes a huge error. And Villa's complaint is that given what was at stake, a more experienced referee should have been in charge. And that's not to say, based on their performances, that's not to say that PGML Silva would have found a way to fuck it up, but they don't help themselves. They really do not help themselves. Like there was money on the line today. This was not send that guy to Arsenal, Southampton. Nothing going on in that game.
No.
They sent a veteran ref to Arsenal, Southampton where nothing was happening, and sent a rookie ass ref to United Villa and cost Villa 100 million. But that's football for you, man. I'm entertained. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro.
Yeah, but we can't discount the fact that Unai Emery sent the team out there to do fuck all, basically.
Man,
and I'm not and again, I'm not saying that because of that, they deserve to have bad decisions against them. But you can't just ignore that part. You know what I'm saying? You literally can't ignore that part. So,
United got 3 points. And
hey,
Ruben Amorim gave a speech of a dictator. His speech after the game was some of the most dictator shit I've heard him say in a while. I was like, I told you, I won 2 games and drew a game. I told you the storm is coming. He goes, now the storm is over. We're going to be good. I was like, okay, man, whatever you say.
All right. So do you believe him or not?
I don't believe anything anybody with Man United says anymore. Okay, I've just given up this season. You have to show me at this point. I'm tired.
Here we go again with the fake nonchalance. You've been doing this shit for 10 years, bro. 10 years. All right. Let's go.
Let's move on. Newcastle lost to Everton 1-0. Carlos Alcaraz had a really good header. Because actually he got up there. It was a really good header. Newcastle are going to Europa, right?
Nah, if Villa had just gotten a point, Newcastle go to Europa. because Villa lost because of this bullshit ass ref. Now Newcastle are going to the Champions League, and I'm not going to get Alexander Isak this summer. Unai Emery, still you find ways to fuck my life up. I can't stand that vampire looking ass nigga, man. I'm tired of his shit, man. He don't even coach my team, and he's still fucking me up.
That's tough. You know what's our Campus League? Chelsea. They beat Nottingham Forest 1-0. Levi Colwill got a chance. Chris Wood could not. He needed more wood for the fire, as the song said.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was that.
Look, Chelsea make me laugh because there's that sort of running trend that they would like to talk about. Oh yeah, biggest club in London, and we'd never celebrate, getting Champions League, and we're too big for that and all that kind of thing. They had a whole promo video primarily. They had a whole promo video before the game, and then afterwards, do you remember Arsenal took those pictures in Newcastle's changing room? I think it was 12-13 season.
That's
Yeah. And we got slaughtered for it. Right? We got absolutely slaughtered for it. And the value of our squad there was probably only about, let's call it what it was, maybe about 300 million. That's a £2 billion squad there celebrating Champions League football. A competition that they won't win next season, by the way. Like they haven't got a snowball chance, to be honest. And it's just funny how the narrative is just not that. A team that cheated their way to 2 Champions League titles before as well already. And now all of a sudden it's okay because they're young and plucky. No, this is still the same cheating machine with a team that costs more than you can ever imagine, kind of thing. And nobody's even giving them shit for it. You know what I mean?
Nobody cares about Chelsea.
Well, this is the thing. This is the thing. Nobody gives a shit about them, right? But it does bother me that people allow, the mainstream media to dictate their mood and dictate how they feel, because it's clear that none of this shit actually matters. It doesn't matter at all. It just depends on what they want to make news. Do you know what I'm saying? Once you accept that and know that, why would you be upset about anything that these people decide to print and decide to talk about? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I was gonna say something funny about the addendum earlier, because remember I told you I had an addendum. So I saw on my timeline today a couple of Chelsea fans said, "You haven't watched any Champions League football since Chelsea's been out," and they had me thinking. I was just like, "These are the people you guys debate on social media. That these people don't even like the sport. They're not watching Champions League because their team's not in it. Like, what do you mean you haven't watched any Champions League football in the last 3 years because your team's not in it? Like, go to hell. How about that? Okay, that's just how I feel about that. You can go to hell."
Oh man, I got nothing. You guys said it all, really. I just sound bitter saying all the things Coach said, but I don't know, man. At the end of the day, people want things to be presented as more good than bad. The villain is the contender that hasn't won yet, So Arsenal just gotta be content with that role for now. That's just the way it is.
Speaking of Arsenal, they beat Southampton 2-1. Arsenal episode should be out now. Martin Odegaard had a really good goal, and Arsenal wrapped their season up with a bow. And they wore. Do you wear your new kits today or no?
no, we were against Newcastle.
Okay, so there's that. Brighton beat the shit out of Tottenham 4-1, but Tottenham don't care because they're going to Champions League next year. So who really won here? I guess.
No, Brighton won.
Yeah,
And they reminded us of what we've mostly seen from Spurs this season. That if there weren't actual promoted teams that were ready to go right back down the minute they came up, Spurs would have gone down and won the Europa League anyway. But yeah, credit to them. A win is a win, but their league form, like, put it this way. I've probably been the nicest person to Ange, at least in this group, all year, because I know I'm not London enough and I'd be upsetting you and shit, but I just like the fact that the dude is who he says he is and doesn't try to pretend to be anything. I like the fact that when he feels like someone has wronged him, he's prickly about that shit. I love that shit. That said, which are we supposed to view as the more accurate reflection of what he can do as a manager? The time he took that team from 8th to 5th, or the time he took that team from 5th to 17th with all those injuries? I would argue that it's the former. So they'd be really stupid to do a really stupid thing, is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Well, here's the thing. Go on.
I was gonna say we got some breaking news that had nothing to do with anything. Fabrizio just did the "Here we go" for Cunha to United. So
yeah, we're talking about Spurs, bro. We'll get to United.
As soon as I heard Tottenham, I got bored. I was like, man, fuck these guys, man.
So my issue with all of that is with him taking a team to to 22 losses, should I say, is whether it's players or managers, your bottom level to me determines just how good you are, basically. If your bottom level is taking a
You
team,
judge people at their worst, is what you're saying?
well, at the worst according to their standards. Because if we're being honest here, as much as we call him a cheater, whatever else kind of thing, this has been Pep's worst domestic performance probably since he took over City, right? And he pretty much secured Champions League football while being shit the entire season,
Yeah,
basically.
but he also got 200 million worth of
Well, there's
steroids
that
in the middle of the season. Most managers
there's,
don't get that.
there's that as well. But even without the additions, they wouldn't be finishing 22nd or whatever, or 22 losses is the point I'm making. And my issue is that when a manager or a player kind of thing is not performing kind of thing, how bad does it look? Do you know what I mean? What is your actual bottom level? And if your bottom level is getting your team to 17th over a season kind of thing, that's just not good enough. No matter how you want to caveats and injuries and whatever.
So are you saying they should fire him?
I'm saying they should keep him for my sake. They should definitely keep him. Because
All right, so we agree. There's nothing else to talk about.
because if they do fire him, they're gonna get a better coach. They're gonna get Areola. I'm pretty sure.
Thomas Frank.
That'd be disastrous.
Either one of those coaches are better than Ange. Let's be honest, they're better.
I don't think Ange is a bad coach, because at the end of the day, and it's not just because he won a trophy. At the end of the day, he did what people accuse him of not doing the entire time, and he should have done it sooner. To be fair, he was a little too stubborn, but to win this trophy, he basically started playing terrible. He played terrorist football, and they did what. So we know he's capable of doing different things. He can coach a team to do different things, and on top of that, this was the most important part to me. This is what I really look at. He didn't lose the locker room. Like, it's very easy when you're losing 22 league games, it's very easy for guys to be like, this guy's a fucking bluffer. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing here. I'm not playing for him anymore. He never lost that team, So, not even trying to be sneaky about it. I do think, and at a bare minimum, just for the juju, like, the guy ended your trophy draw. I don't care what the fuck else happened. Just rock with it and see what happens. If it fails, you can fire him later,
Yeah, no, honestly, it's gonna. Let me tell you this now. It's gonna be more of the same. He's gonna get a bit of money to spend. He's gonna get some more attacking players, some questionable defenders, and they're gonna play the exact same way. And you know what's gonna be funny? They're gonna come up in the Champions League against some really good sides, like a Barcelona, like a Bayern kind of thing, trying to play that same football, and we might get some record numbers because these teams are used to play against teams sitting back against them, kind of thing. So imagine they get a team that's not really good defensively already, just trying to play football. It's going to be scary, and I can't wait personally.
Look at you with all these hypotheticals. You don't know
It's gonna happen.
You can't see the future.
It's Tottenham. All things considered.
It's not Tottenham anymore. They just beat Man United in a European final. It's weird, bro.
All things considered.
You have to respect it. Respect it
for
for one episode. One episode.
No, in fact, that's it. I'm not talking for the rest of the episode. She just done madness there.
Wolves and Brentford was 1-1. Brentford didn't make Europe. But as we just said, Cunha's going to Man United. That's what Fabrizio just tweeted. And Ben Jacobs said he's wearing number 10. So
number 10. Who's wearing it now?
Rashford, but he's not going to be at the club no more.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, cool. Congratulations, I suppose.
I guess, man. I guess one of these Brazilians finally has to work for us.
He can start treating you guys like Remy Ma's been treating Papoose for the last 7 years or whatever. So, I mean, what do you do to Wolves all season? Like, I love you guys, but maybe not today.
I'm conceited.
Yeah, there you go.
Because we get the standings, so we get the hell out of England.
If we must. So as we know, Liverpool won the league. Good for them. They finished on 84 points. A lot of questions there in general, but they finished 84 points. Arsenal finished second, 10 points behind 74 points. 71 points for Man City. Woo! 69 points. Not nice because it's for Chelsea. 66 points for Newcastle. Villa finished on 66 points. Also, but obviously goal difference for Forest. And then Nottingham Forest finish outside of Europe on 65 points. Now, if we go down the table, if we go down the table and we start from, let's say, 14th place, West Ham are on 43 points. Manchester United are on 42 points. So are Wolves also on 42 points. And Tottenham did not break 38 points. So they didn't break 40 points. They finished on 38 points.
38 points in the God Champions League. This is the world that we live in.
Yeah, I just think let's look at it. It's genuinely just gross, man. Like, you've conceded 65 goals. You know what I mean? Like,
lost 22 games.
you lost 22 games, and you wanna go and sully the Champions League with all of that. Like, come on, man. Let's be. That's disgusting. Yeah, that's just disgusting. Honestly.
This is good hate. Let's give our Premier League team of the season. In goal, we have David Raya. Right back, give Ola Aina. At left back, we have Milos Kirkresh. Our center back pairing is Van Dijk and Gabriel. In midfield, we have Gravenberg, Declan Rice. In our midfield, then Mo Salah, Chris Wood, Isak, and Mbeumo rounds out our team of the season.
Mhm.
And if anybody disagrees, guess what? These hands are free, and they're ready to eat for everybody. We have some honorable mentions: McAllister, Trent, Saliba, Wissa, Rogers, Robinson from Aston Villa, Ilman Ndiaye, who's been amazing.
No, Fulham Robinson.
Fulham Robinson. Okay.
Jedi. Go USA. All that shit.
Okay.
Star Wars. Yeah.
Clivert, Murphy, Damsgaard, Baleba, the Fulham center back, Milinkovic, Sells, Munoz.
Forrest.
No, Forrest, excuse me. Sells, Munoz, and Mateta. So yeah, a lot of mid-table team players would just turn up this season.
So that kind of year, and we probably should have mentioned the Bericese. He had a decent season. The second half of it was good.
Oh, he finished on double figures for both goals and assists this season. That I have to respect it.
You should take Mbeumo's spot in our team then.
Hmm.
Since he's Nigerian and all.
You do our European team of the season?
Yes, sir. We have in goal, because I'm a hipster, Joan Garcia. I think the props he got from La Liga folks. Like, there are a bunch of other people who are better. Their high points are better because they played entire camps, like Courtois or Donnarumma from the semifinals on. But they also had periods where they were either injured or just not playing, or not playing well. Like, that happened a bunch, So I decided we'll go hipster with them. At right back, we're going with Achraf Hakimi from PSG. Virgil van Dijk also makes our European team of the season. Left center back is Alessandro Bastoni from Inter Milan. Pedri highlights our midfield, where he's joined by Yao Neves and Declan Rice. And our forwards will be Lamine Yamal, Ousmane Dembele, Mohamed Salah, and Rafinha.
Yeah.
Who's winning that Ballon d'Or? How are we feeling today?
It's gonna be Lamine Yamal.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. Do you know what? Yeah, I've got a sneaky feeling they might scam it and give it to Dembele.
Yeah. I think we'll have a better idea after the Champions League final, because if they win it, I think Dembele gets it.
Yeah.
If not, I don't know why it wouldn't be Rafinha, just based on the goals and assists, but it feels like the marketing machine has moved behind Yamal.
Do you know what would be so funny? It'll be actually just so funny that, to my mind, Mbappe still, there's still a gap between him and Dembele. I still think he's a much better player than Dembele. Not to say Dembele isn't fantastic and elite and all that shit kind of thing, but it'd just be so funny that he would get a Ballon d'Or and a Champions League before Mbappe. Who would have said that in 2021 or 2022? Who would have said that, seriously?
Life is ill like that sometimes, isn't it?
It's mad. Absolutely mad.
Before we get out of here, we do have a fantasy league that I do monitor weekly, even though we rarely ever talk about it. And because the Premier League season is finally over, we have our winners. I'm going to list out the top 3. Hopefully you're listening to this episode. I don't know why you wouldn't be listening to this episode if you're in my fantasy Premier League, but whatever. Our winner this year is a team by the name of Mad Villainy. So shout out to you. You amassed a total of 2,471 points.
Ooh.
And what?
I think you need to recheck. I think it's somebody else.
Oh, let me go live right now. Sorry, folks, this is not good podcasting. Fantasy. Let us see here. Leagues. The Golden Plantain. Okay.
Yeah.
We've had a last minute change.
Yeah.
Palmer Violets. Oh my God, he's probably a Chelsea fan. We should just lied and rigged it.
When I do an after all.
Andrew Turner of Palmer Violets, please contact us via DM. You know how to find us. Ivan Mendoza manager of Mad Villainy. You lost 3 points in the final tally. You know how to contact us as well. And Schwags, managed by Insua Abasi Doiten. You Calabar people, you need to chill with the names, man. Too many syllables. But you also know how to find us for your bronze medal gift. So just reach out to us and we'll try to get something over to you as soon as possible. Thanks for playing.
Hey, man, I don't want no beef with Calabar people. Please, I beg.
Oh, man. You're not cooked properly if you fear anybody. What's wrong with you? Ni babalawo nle ni kí ló ń ṣe?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are out. We will have more content for you coming this summer. Just try not to lose your minds over your teams this summer. Try not to.
Or do.
Yeah, you could do that as well.
The world will move on without your lost mind ass. It's cool. Whatever.
Do I have anything else to say before we get out of here? Do I? Yes. It's been a great season overall. And we've still got the Champions League final to come as well. But just in general, the regular listeners and the new ones and the ones that tune in when they can, kind of thing. Thank you, man. Just thank you for just being here and continuing to be here. And yeah, like I'm glad that we're part of your routine. I think it's pretty cool, and you're also part of our routine because we make this shit for you. So, thank you guys, and we'll be back. We'll be back again. More content.
We're not going anywhere, man.
Yeah.
Like it's the end of the season, but we're not going anywhere. Infantino has made sure that we're never going anywhere. It's awful, but we committed to this, so here we are.
Yeah.
That said, before we leave, I do want to give a shout out to our old network, Believe, and our new network, the Barber Chair FC. I'm gonna get that right someday, I promise. But yeah, we're excited for the future, and it's been a great season, folks. It's been fun for sure.
Hey, I'm gonna blow you guys' mind real quick. Man United plays on Wednesday and Friday. We're in Asia right now with those those tournaments that teams play after the season. We got 2 of those. That's how bad we are. We're doing what Everton used to do back in the day.
God, why would you ruin the vibes of the end of the show with your bullshit? Like, yeah, we're gonna cut this shit out. Oh, cut this shit out. I don't want to hear this shit at the end of the podcast. Nobody cares about your loser ass team.
We're gonna be drinking Chang beer on Wednesday.
Fuck y'all.
We're out. Everyone take it easy. Peace.
Peace. Hey folks, this is Deen from the Shirtless Plantain Show. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and follow us on all our socials. You can see them right beneath our recordings in every video. Thanks again, and see you on the next one.